Good evening, Torrey Pines Falcons. This is a video created for second semester world history expectations for Mrs. Tellers. Again, we've gone through one semester together in the distance learning platform, and I thought it would be very useful to just remind students and help parents out regarding what second semester expectations are. I'll give you some tips on Google Classroom, some attendance issues, looking at things like private comments, emails, and hopefully this will help better give us better communication for students, parents, and for myself as well. You can reach me at my email, lisa.tellers@sduhsd.net. As for Google Classroom, your students have become pretty good at Google Classroom. I'm very impressed with how they're doing. Their Google Classroom is linked to their school emails, so anytime they're logging into classes, they're automatically usually using that particular account. If they log in with a private account, they may actually have difficulty getting in, so that's one tip. Another thing in terms of emailing teachers, we again direct your children to TPHS staff directory if they forget what their teachers' names are, or even just their emails. You can click on the TPHS staff directory by going to the Torrey Pines website, and you should be able to look up any teacher's name via last name and first name. If you're having any issues with Wi-Fi, personal hotspots, Chromebooks, and things like that, have your child email the teacher or talk to them right after class, or even an email if they can't log in for some reason. We will direct your child into the right spot of where they need to go to. Usually it's contacting a certain admin or anything like that. Regarding attendance, this is the big one. There's been a lot of changes in attendance throughout the past semester, and in order to be in compliance with the state of California, we have a lot of procedures that we need to do for attendance. So keep in mind that any type of activity that we do in class is always linked to attendance, in some way, shape, or form. It also shows that your child is participating and engaging in my class. So it might be attached to some type of note taking. We might be watching a film clip together, doing some type of class discussion activity, a quick write. Something that's always involved with writing is always linked to my attendance. And I remind the students of that. They know this very well about me. If a student does not turn in something during class, you'll see that I will remind them several times verbally as well as in the chat. I will even send out courtesy emails or private comments in Google Classroom. And here's a sample just below. You can see that I would give a comment like that to a student that says, hey, make sure you turn this in by this time, otherwise you'll be marked absent. So if you're getting an email and you're wondering why your student was absent, again, they probably needed to check their email or they forgot to do something. So make sure that you ask them, did you check your email? Did you check your private comment? And usually it can be solved 99% of the time. So keep in mind, once an absence is recorded, it goes to the attendance office. So a lot of things can be fixed just by asking your child whether or not they checked their private comment, or whether there was an email or they just forgot to simply turn something in for my class specifically. And if you type in TPHS attendance, you should be able to find the procedures for that. The number for attendance is 858-481-0950. If it's for an absence, you press 1. If it's for off-campus pass, press 2. And I always remind students and parents to let attendants know a day or two ahead if you're going to have an off-campus pass. It's a little different with distance learning where kids will try to stay in the car when they're going to like a dentist office or something like that. But again, if you need to take the day off for something like a doctor's appointment, please do so. Just talk to the teachers, communicate with them, and usually we'll resolve it together. In regards to other things too, 48 hours is really important. If your student is not attending classes and they do get a message sent home, whether it's email or whether it's a phone call regarding that they didn't attend class, you have 48 hours to clear it up. So again, most of the time, a lot of the absences can be clarified just by talking to the teacher. But if they were in fact not there, which has been happening in some cases where students will look like they're in a meet, but they're not there, um, 48 hours. Otherwise, it becomes a truancy. And in many cases, the student cannot make up the work. So please make sure that your child, as well as you, understand that policy regarding attendance. And keep in mind, it's very tricky for teachers too, because again, it's all distance learning. So as long as we're all communicating with each other and everybody understands this, it really works pretty smoothly. As for office hours, this is something that students can schedule on their own time with teachers. The office hours vary according to the teacher. So it's really important. What I tell students to do is just stay after class a little bit and just ask me the question if there's nobody in there, or if you'd like to talk like more privately, we can set up an office hour. And what I do is I send out a unique meet code on a Google Calendar, and then the student and I have an office meet. About, we get to talk about various things. So encourage your students to send a scheduled Gmail if it's past a certain time. For example, some students have sent emails at 1 a.m. in the morning. We're asleep, as I hope you guys are too. But if they do, I taught all your students how to send a scheduled Gmail, so they should know how to do that. I check emails starting at 6:30 a.m. in the morning, and I stop checking around anywhere from 8:30 p.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. In regards to office hours, I like to speak with students on a variety of topics ranging from grades, homework, questions about an activity or project, study skills, questions about upcoming junior year, even college in the future, scholarships, emotional and social support. And for the emotional social support, if it's a lot more that's needed, we always advise that the student set up a meeting with counseling. And they can do virtual drop-in office hours at lunchtime. They can always send their counselor an email, and if they just type in TPHS counseling, they'll be able to find out who their counselor is via their alphabet of their last name. And the last thing that I wanted to stress is check-ins with your child. Make sure that they're taking breaks from the screen. It's very easy for us to be on the screen anywhere from 6 to 8 hours a day with distance learning. So for my classes, we try to take breaks, and it's important that they do the same thing too. If you see them really cranking it out on the screen, remind them it's good to like maybe step outside or just kind of take their eyes off the screen for a little bit. Also, make sure that they're checking a section in Google Classroom called the To Do or Calendar section in Google Classroom. I also showed your children how to do that, but it really helps out a lot in terms of organization. So the to-do list and the calendar are really good. Students are starting to use that a lot more often and finding that it's very advantageous for them. Make sure they're checking their emails. This solves almost 99% of the problems. And that they're also deleting the emails that are no longer necessary for them. That way they're keeping an organized and cleaned up workspace. Also, private comments are really important to look at. Almost every assignment, I like to really give feedback to students, and private comments also will sometimes give hints to students to fix something before it's finally graded. So keep in mind, get them into the habit of looking at their private comments and their emails a lot. And remember, honesty is the best policy. We understand that distance learning is really, has challenges for everybody. So if they're struggling at all, if they're having a hard time with content or even just motivation, please ask for help. We are available. And as mentioned before, my email is lisa.tellers@sduhsd.net. I hope that this video serves you well. And again, everybody stay safe and take care, Falcons. Have a great day.